as the writer understood it, creation. Then God said, let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, over the cattle, and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. That's for those of you who don't like snakes. All right, so God created humankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them, male and female, he created them. The question I would ask of each of you, what influences your image? Who told you that you needed an image change? Who mocked you for your image? Who threatened you because of your image? Who has anyone experienced bullying because of your image? Did anyone come to your side? Image is so incredibly important to us. It is important to us because it's who we understand ourselves to be. And it's not only what is outside of us that can be seen, touched, and experienced, but is what is inside. The image that we have is often more important what is inside than what is outside. So if you have been bullied, if you have been told you got to change your image, you might want to know that you were made in the image of your Creator, and so pleased they are that you were born. Everyone throughout the world has a unique identity, and the unique identity has a lot to do with our fingerprint. And it appears that there has not yet been found two people with the same fingerprint. Now, when the fetus is being developed in the mother's womb, and those cells are beginning to move around, forming the various parts of our body, sometimes they bang into each other and they take on some other identities that we simply aren't aware of. And that's true of our fingerprints. Because of that, every one of the persons that you meet have a unique fingerprint. There is no one else like them. And for that matter, very likely now, if you want to open up your cell phone or your computer, just look at it. It recognizes your eyes. And it says, oh, that's Irv's computer, that's Irv's cell phone. That's your cell phone or computer. And in fact, there's a lot of ways to identify ourselves through the genetic pool that we have. And it turns out there are no two gene maps that are equal and similar. Even in identical twins, there are differences. Now, if I'm wrong about that, then my research has obviously been wrong, and so has AI, because AI has confirmed that for my research. We are all unique. We are all special. We are all richly blessed by an existence that no one else can duplicate. Out of the wild exuberance of creation, one of my authors has said to me, you were born, one of a kind, unique, a member of the human family. So what is your identity? Is that sufficient? Is that enough? No, I suspect not, because we oftentimes want to think about how we can improve our exterior identity. And this is not a criticism, it's just a reality. I jokingly said to you when I received new glasses, I sent it out on our family text message, vote, which one do you think is right for me? And they all came back and said, this one is right for you. I walk in and Julie says, oh, that's cool. And I was now a cool dude. Now that's fun to hear. It's delightful. And I must say that our personal image in terms of how we look is important. And sometimes we have some help for that, like, well, you need to shave your beard, or your hair is getting long again, it needs to be cut, or you got to do something else with those shoes you're wearing because they're wearing out. Any number of things that people help us understand that we can make some changes, and they're normal changes. And wonderfully, people will do some things like fixing up the creases in their face with Plexiderm. There you go. And when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, these glasses still reveal I've got bags under my eyes. And then I got to thinking about it. If I changed my facial looks, you wouldn't know me. And you wouldn't know me when I smile, because my smile includes what happens up here around my eyes. And you wouldn't know me when I cry, because my crying includes all kinds of tears that come rolling down my cheeks, and they roll over these bulges that are there. So I'm not going to change what I look like. I've grown a beard because I like it better than shaving. And I like it in spite of the winter. Someone said to me, "You're going to be so full of frost." And I said, "Great." So when I go out cross-country skiing, there it is, or snow, when I'm downhill skiing, my face is covered with snow like the abominable snowman. And in the summertime, it insulates my face. It does. So go ahead. If you have a need to change some of the exterior of yourself, that's part of who we are. However, one of the problems we have is that oftentimes how we look to someone else is the source of their bullying, the source of their teasing, the source of their rejection of us as persons. It's fascinating to me to read poetry that comes from other folks. This is a poem that came from Maya Angelou. She died a number of years ago, and this is what she said in her poem, "I Still Rise." You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me on me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you upset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Do you want to see me broken, bowed down head, lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful oneness? Does my laughter offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like you got gold mines, and I've got gold mines digging in my backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air, I will rise. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from the past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise into a daybreak that's wonderfully clear. I rise. Bring the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of a slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. It's important for us to know that at the age of 8, this little child who was born in poverty in a ghetto community in St. Louis, at the age of 8, she was raped by her mother's boyfriend. And in anger, the neighborhood gathered around him shortly thereafter and killed him. She chose muteness for nearly 5 years, speaking to no one except to her mother, believing that somehow her hatred of him had caused his death. Mia Angelou died, and the final words that she had shared with her good friend were these: "Dance in the rain, dance in the rain." She is one who had incredible courage, and she understood who she was, what image she had, and she was pleased that that image came as a result of her deep faith in a God who created her uniquely, one person, no one else like her. Now, if you think that means that you're any more special than anyone else, keep in mind that that's true if you're sitting next to someone else right there. They are unique too. They're one of a kind. So whoever you're next to, that's the one of a kind that you know who's sitting beside you. The 2 people, the 3 people, the 4 people who are all here, all of you who are here, those of you on Zoom, you are one of a kind. And out of the wild exuberance, you were created. One of a kind, masterpiece. Someone very special. Someone who's part of God's family. You are not at all any different than the person that you may be standing next to at the grocery store, standing on the other side of the pumps when you're pumping gas. Wherever you happen to be, there's another person just like you in that they too are unique and special. So when I read the words, "Let us create human beings in our image," I say to myself, whoa, that's the one God who says to us, "I want you to reflect me. I want you to be like me. I want you to represent my image out there in the world. You are unique. And join others who are unique." And the message is powerful and wonderful. The message is incredible, that everyone who has been through pain and suffering is likewise unique. Everyone who is destroyed by the lack of food or destroyed by a bomb that's been dropped is likewise unique. There's another person like that person. So the preciousness of life and the life given to us, as God says, let us make human beings like us in our image, in our reflection, indeed. Or the person, if you happen to be in Zurich, Switzerland, hanging on to the middle of that cable car going up because you're afraid of heights. You are one unique person. Or the person who's comfortable climbing up the Tower of Pisa when it could be climbed up, is not afraid of it tipping over. One of a kind person. Or if you happen to be in Lima, Peru, and you're in a restaurant and you're sitting next to a table of 4 people, there are 4 unique, individual, one-of-a-kind persons. Now that's the image of God. The image of God is that one-of-a-kind person then can develop their inner being, their sense of spirituality, their sense of uniqueness as they live their lives giving of themselves in a special and unique way. So remember, you are created in the image of God, an image that shows kindness, gentleness, compassion, forgiveness, an image that shows creativity, imagination, blending relationships in a way that make for great joy and hope. When I do weddings, I say each of you is a unique person. Celebrate that person's uniqueness. Celebrate that person's uniqueness. And find ways to find common ways in which you dream and hope and plan and believe and support and nurture and give and celebrate, so that each of you might share that uniqueness in a special way and bring excitement and joy to your relationship. Out of the wild exuberance of God's creation, you and I have come. Each of you, everyone out there, you on Zoom, all of us, God's creation, in God's image, in God's likeness, in God's reflection. So go from here and let that spirit which is in you expand and grow and be energized by God's Spirit, that indeed not only here when you're singing or praying or, saying prayers, but out there when you're relating to your neighbor, to the person in the grocery store or at the pump or in the restaurant. Be gentle, be kind, be compassionate, be loving, and be all the things that God's image has given you. In the name of Jesus, I say, thanks be to God for his gift of each of our unique images. And be there for people who are being bullied, rejected, and let them know that they have been created in God's image and that they are like you in the family of God, and welcome them. Amen. Amen.